time out of their day to day. Real quick, kind of want to just recognize, if you haven't heard, the new folks that have been elected at our September meeting. I was already president-elect, so I'm moving into my term officially as president in 2021. Steve Leaker was elected president-elect for 2021 to be the president in 2022. Hayden Locke was our treasurer. Tony Seawald was elected as secretary. And then Mark Thayer and Michelle Stone were elected to the board. So congratulations to all of those. I think with our current board members and those that are coming in, we have a good balance between young and old and new and old board members. So hopefully having that diverse group there will bring new ideas, as well as keeping a handle on the tradition of what our board is. So I'm really excited going forward into 2021. I think it's going to be great. Best year possible. I can't do it, Trump. I was going to exaggerate on how great this was going to be. So
stop it.
So moving right along, Amanda did post the agenda in the remarks. She will be our moderator for the meeting. So if you have anything that you want to ask about or input, you can type it into the chat and she will recognize that, or you can wave a hand in person, or there also is a raise a hand within the Zoom. That way we kind of keep some semblance of order and folks aren't talking over everybody. And then that way we can also answer everybody's questions and deal with any issues that may pop up. So continuing moving on, the next item is, I want to kind of give you a task force update. If for those of you that remember, there was an organizational task force that was formed. It came out of a meeting we had, a workshop we had last year to try to do some changes and look at the structure of the board as a whole. Two items that the task force has concluded and has moved on to the next appropriate committees is one, a new committee structure, looking at how the state and NAR has their committee structured and trying to be more effective with how we have our committee structure. Hopefully with the new committee structure, there will be the opportunity for more of our members to be involved with, and hopefully increase efficiency with those boards. The other thing that's coming up is the task force went through the bylaws and policy manual using NAR's bylaw template. We've tweaked a few things. The task force has tweaked a few things, has adjusted policy and bylaws based upon what we're actually doing, and then also adjusting a few of that stuff so we can go forward and be more encompassing in our businesses. The bylaws and policy are actually getting presented to the bylaw and policy committee today after this meeting for that committee to go through and see what the recommendations are of the task force. So a lot of good stuff has been going on there, and I look forward to more things coming out of that task force to take us into 2021, 2022, and beyond. I think it's really going to be great. Oh, hold on, a little later. Sorry, technology here. And once those items have gone through the appropriate committees, then we'll start rolling them out to the brokers, and then from there, we'll roll them out to the members. Want to keep everybody in the loop on what's going on. Continuing on here, committee chairman. We have existing chairman and vice chairman that'll be moving up in the new year, but just like every organization, and we're short bodies. I'm sure it's the same way. It's in every organization that I belong to. The committees are always short people being involved. So we're going to be looking for candidates to serve on these committees. We want to stay away from recycling the same people over and over on multiple committees, because then that creates the silo effect and we don't get a whole lot of diverse thought. So we want to try to get new members, even if they're new realtors within the companies or the profession, we want those input. So we have 1-year term limits, 2-year term limits, and then when the new committee structure comes, it's going to require different bodies. What I'm asking of you, the brokers, is kind of take this back to your Tuesday meetings. Let your agents know that we always need volunteers and folks to serve on our committees. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, really. Sometimes, depending on what the issue is, make more time. Other times it's less. But really take, if you would, ask your realtors if they'd be interested in serving. Amanda can send out a list of the committees that we currently have, just so folks have an idea of what's going on there. Also, some new information coming in 2021, dues billing. So what we have done as a board is decided that we're going to send the dues out the first week of November, hopefully November 1, but it'll be the first week of November, so everybody has that in their inboxes before the end of the year. Technically, dues are due by January, but I know as a board, through our discretion, we have allowed folks to pay as late as March. That being said, we're tweaking what we do there. So the dues are due January 1st. They are late February 1st and will be assessed a $50 late fee. And then on April 1, anybody who is not paid will then be shut off. Okay. So ultimately what we're doing is extending the months in this calendar year on when people get the billing, and then cutting a month off in the next calendar year. So we're not into a whole quarter of business and people aren't paying dues and then decide to drop. It's not fair to the rest of us. It's not good management of the board's money, and ultimately good management of, our member resources. So that's the new, how the dues billing will go this year. Becky.
You might want to mention that they're not going to get a hard copy. Keep billing. I think is what was decided.
Good. Sorry, that's great. It's not on the. I was just checking the agenda to make sure I hadn't got there. I skipped it. To make sure I didn't skip it. So what Becky wanted me to remind everybody is this will all be electronic billing going out to the members. You're not going to get a hard copy this year. It's all going to be electronic. You can still pay online, or you can send us a check. You can still do all that in person. The payment is not going to change. Just how the bills are delivered is going to change. So it's all going to be electronic. It's not going to be a hard paper copy of bills. So that's a good point. Thank you. Continuing on with the dues, the board of directors voted to dues. I know this is always a popular topic when people want more money, but after looking at it, just one second, after looking at our dues and where we're going, the board felt it was time to do a small dues increase. So the FCBR dues are going from $178.50 to $200. So it's a total increase of $21.50. We want to get rid of that 50 cents. We wanted to also bring in a little more revenue because we are expanding the services we've done. We have two staff that we are now employing, and for the last 3 years we have been budgeting a loss. It has been a budget, known that because of the staff and the ups and downs with AEs and things like that. We as the board feel that we cannot continue to operate at a budgeted loss. It doesn't make good fiscal sense, and so this will help us cover those expenditures. I think Ken Levy noted in the chat that the last dues increase was, I caught a glimpse of the 2010. So it's been 10 years since the last dues increase, and we know costs of goods and services have gone up. I don't know about you, but they definitely have gone up. When I go to the grocery store and the bar and everything like that, things do cost money. More bar than grocery store.
Bar. I was going to say.
Also, Derek has his hand up.
So, Derek, you have a question?
Oh, I was just going to comment to the committee structure and what we're trying to do there, and wanted to mention that none of that's really going into place, and we'll probably have an implementation process of throughout 2021 if it continues to be approved. We're looking at all that to be set during that election next September if it all goes as planned. And then lastly, I wanted to comment on, I know there's a few either past leaders or committee chairs and things that are there in that group. And I wanted to make sure we mentioned that part of that group looked at how many members it currently takes to fill our committees. And it's over 100, which is over a third of our members. And so our goal with our committee structure is to reduce the required amount of members and get it closer to about a 70 mark or something like that. And that's what our current proposal has. So it's going to mean we don't have to recycle as much, and previous leaders have had a tall task to fill so many seats. So we're hoping we make a positive change.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, those are excellent points. And just so everybody knows, Derek is the chair of the organizational task force. So he's been doing an excellent job with working with that task force, keeping everybody on board. And myself, Bob Borkman, Sue Ann Taylor, Ginger Brinker, I think John Abuzide as well. If I'm missing anybody, forgive me, are all on the task force. So again, it's a diversity of brokerages as well as experiences. So Derek, you did break up a little bit through there, but we did get the high points. So I don't think there's any need to go back, but yeah, that was good to add added clarification there. Thank you. So continuing on, and then it breaks up the whole dues conversation. Continuing on the dues increase. So it's $21.50 going up to $200, making overall total dues $565 for agents. And for brokers, because we make the big bucks, we have to pay just a fuzz more. It's going up to total of $595. So it's $565 for agents, $595 for brokers. We definitely want to keep it under a 600 mark. We want to keep balanced. Just to remind everybody out there, and if you guys will remind your agents when this starts coming out, we don't collect the entire amount of the dues. So out of that $565, roughly a third comes to us, a third goes to the state, and a third goes to NAR. Okay. So really, we're going from the $178.50 to $200. The rest of that money is not even coming to us and doesn't go into our accounts. So it's not a get-rich scheme here, but it is time, and we want to continue to improve what we're doing. Continuing on here, we have our. Well, I'm going to kind of combine a couple of things here. We have our installation banquet coming up in December. And as you know, at the banquet, we do announce our 2020 awards, which is the Rookie of the Year Award, Realtor of the Year Award, Realtor Salesperson of the Year, Service Award, Years of Membership, and Affiliate of the Year Award. And if you guys didn't get all those down, we'll make sure to send that out into a broker email. What we'd like from the brokers are nominations for those awards. You guys know the folks that are in your office better than any of us do, and what they are doing for the profession, for the community, and for the office and the greater good. So we would like you guys to make those nominations and send those to Amanda. The only difference being is the Realtor of the Year Award is actually that committee is set up through past recipients, and then they choose who that is, which basically that's the broker the broker award, the Realtor of the Year award. ROTSY, is that what it's? ROTSY. So I failed spelling. Don't hold me to that. But that's what's in our bylaws. The previous recipients do that. I don't see any reason why, if you really wanted to, you couldn't submit those nominations to Amanda and then she'd forward to that. But really, I think what we'll do is we'll form the committee first so everybody knows who that is. And then we'll start gathering those nominations for the Realtor of the Year award.
The Realtor salesperson also.
Well, the Realtor salesperson, I
Is
got
past nominees.
Is it past nominees? Thank you.
Past recipients.
Recipients.
Past recipients. Okay, we'll do the same thing on both. So,
I'll make a Google Doc and send it out so people can start nominating, but I won't give anybody anything until we have our
Okay.
committee.
yeah, as best as I try, I can't remember all the bylaws. I got quite a few of them logged up in here. I can't remember all of them. So thank you, Cindy. So start racking your brain on those folks. Moving on is RPAC investments. I'm going to give you an update on where we're at. So the FCBR goal, our goal for RPAC is $26,831. We have generated $24,798. So we've done really well with having a few months left. We have $2,033 to go. So if you haven't made your final RPAC contributions for the year, you're trying to get to major investor or another level, we encourage you and your agents to kind of make those final contributions to RPAC. Also with RPAC, I know many of you brokers do take advantage or do participate in the RPAC contributions. If those of you who don't, we encourage all in brokers to invest at least $100. We think that's pretty easy. And as you guys know, having been around in the profession for a while, RPAC does quite a bit. With promoting the legislation for our industry, just a reminder, we had, what was it, Amendment 4 a couple years ago that keep from putting a sales tax on services. That was realtor led. There's always the low income housing credit we keep trying to keep on the books, even though the state likes to cut some of that down a little bit. And there's a whole list of other things.
So there's currently 77 items that the advocacy team is working on. Starting November 1st, I will list one a day on our Facebook page and send it out so that we know what they're working on. But they gave us a list last week at our advocacy training, A to Z, and 77 is the magic number currently for fall.
Yeah, I didn't really, I forgot there was, that's a lot of issues.
That's the most we've ever been.
I don't think so.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's a lot of legislative issues that goes on. Also, it is an election year, so if you've made a contribution to an actual candidate, you can count that toward your RPAC goal as well. You just need to do
30%.
30%. If you write a $100 check to candidate X, you need to write a second check for $30 to RPAC/NAR. Okay.
But then your entire 130 counts.
But your entire 130 does count at that point in time. So the math does work there, and then helps you get to that goal.
Stephen, is that always 30% of what you're contributing, or is it always $30?
30%. Yeah, 30%. I mean, that's a good question for clarification, Derek. Yeah, it's always 30%. So
500 would be 150.
500 would be 150. 1,000 would be 300.
Oh, math genius is here.
I didn't do well in math or spelling, so let's not add any more topics here.
Careful, don't jump to conclusions.
I was great at history and geography. I couldn't remember dates, but I was great at what happened.
What'd you say, Derek? Sorry. Derek, go again.
Oh, just be careful jumping to conclusions up there, Stephen.
That's the only way I can exercise, Derek, is by jumping to conclusions.
With your jump to conclusions, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. It was an office space
Yeah, I got it, Derek.
reference. Got it.
So that being said, we want to currently thank all of our major investors. Yes, Cindy?
So the dues amounts you named didn't include any RPAC,
It did not.
because normally there's like a $40 or something.
Yeah.
25 is usually what
Yeah.
they put in with the dues, but no, that didn't include that.
Yeah, we don't have anything to do with the RPAC on the dues. That's kind of set. But that is a good point. I want to circle back to a little bit there. You know, as we go into the new year with the new dues billing, I would challenge all the brokers out there to in turn challenge their agents to donate to RPAC, not to waive that. I know from my experience when I was a new agent, that extra $15, $25 that I really had no clue what RPAC did, I cut that out. In retrospect, I wish I hadn't. But frankly, at the time, that was a lot of money in my pocket when you don't have that income coming in. But now that I see the importance of it and been involved, it's a small fee to do so much. So I would ask that you all challenge your agents to give that $25 that's on the dues billing, and then to work toward becoming a 100% contribution office in the 2021 year. That would be so awesome if we had 100% contribution offices throughout the board. The slippery slope there is if we get too much money, they're going to raise our raise our target rate on what we need to raise. But I think we can get it, and it would be cool. So yeah, thanks for asking about that. Again, I want to thank all of our major investors. Yeah, I'm not going to run down the list. I have a list of them all here. We'll send out a thank you as the promotional thing as we move on.
They're on our website.
They're already on the website. Perfect. See, Amanda's on top of this. Where would I be without Amanda?
Last thing is installation.
Well, it's not. We're going to switch it up here. So installation banquet is December 10th. It's going to be held at Haw Valley, which is in Pacific. It's a wonderful venue if you haven't been there. The ticket price is going to be $30, and tickets can be purchased in advance on eventbrite.com. It's just an online ticket. It'll help us know ahead of time initial numbers so we can start planning for food and everything. We'll make sure the link gets out to everybody.
Yes, Sue Ann. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
You absolutely can.
Sue Ann just asked if we missed Bob's event, can we still contribute to RPAC and $100? Absolutely. We keep contributing until we reach our goal for the year. After that, then we can start working toward 2021. So installation banquet again, December 10th, Haw Valley from 6 to 10:30. Purchase tickets on Eventbrite. We'll make sure that you have the web address out there, and it'll be sent to all the members as well as on our Facebook page. I hope to have a good turnout. I mean, we are limited on space to about 200 in order to keep maintaining some semblance of social distance. We are considering, and when I say we, me, Amanda, and the rest of the installation committee is considering and trying to see the logistics in doing a hybrid installation, having us in person, as well as having some kind of Zoom. We're not sure if we have the technology to do it yet. We know that we've talked to other boards that are doing it. And so we're kind of picking their brain to see if it's possible. I'd like to have a good amount of attendance. I'm excited to be, I'm kind of a little selfish. I want us to have a in-person gala. But if something does pop up health-wise with COVID outbreaks, we will pivot and we will do what's in the best interest of the public and our members, okay? So I do want to put that out there as well. Now moving on to kind of a state deal. If you haven't heard, Derek Schriever, our current past president, is running for state treasurer for Missouri Association of Realtors. The board has voted to endorse and support Derek in his run. We took a vote of endorsement back in when he first announced June, July, something like that. And so the board voted to do that. Then as Derek has gotten closer to election time, the board did vote to contribute monetarily to the campaign. And then we will continue to work with him and his committee to go out and get him elected to treasurer. The exciting thing about this, not just that Derek wants to be treasurer, but this is the pathway for a president, state president to come from FCBR, which I think would be really neat to have that happen. Talking with Bob Borgman, I don't think that's happened ever, or if it has, it's been a long time. So that is exciting to know that that potential does exist, and that Derek, I think, would represent the board well as our industry well on the state level. He is engaged up there in multiple committees. He knows the players. So we will continue to move forward with that, but I wanted to let all the brokers know that A, that's what Derek's doing, and B, we the board are in full support of his campaign. So Derek, did you want to add anything briefly? Emphasize.
Yeah, if I could.
Absolutely.
Good, I'd like to. And it was technically kicked off in February, and as I was preparing for the April conference, obviously COVID hit, and my campaign was adjusting, feel comforting myself in a self-interested way like a campaign requires. So I've kind of been on hold. I've done some targeted things at the past two businesses conferences to rally my troops, but we have officially kicked off my campaign committee as of this week, and we'll be bolstering up that campaign over the next 2 weeks with a lot of formal announcements going out to all the directors that are eligible to be voting on this topic. So without further ado, what I really need to request.
We lost you, buddy.
We better just say no.
No requests? Great. We didn't hear any requests. We're good.
At this point, from our brokers as well as our local directors, can you hear me now? I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Just off a highway. Any luck?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
you're better now. We lost you at request.
I stopped moving, so hopefully that'll be good. What I need to request is that our local state directors obviously support and endorse me with any friends and colleagues they have across. At the same time, our larger or whether it be larger ones or colleagues, I need anybody to vote. I would appreciate that. The other campaign that I currently have going on that is guaranteed to be people in this group can vote is the Maris directorship. I'm currently a Maris director. I'm in a campaign that reps up. It's currently going on. All brokers and DRs are eligible to vote in this election, and I also would like to continue in that position, which I've been working on for years. So sorry for the cutting out. I'm not sure why. I'm sitting in St. Charles in a parking lot. I would expect the service to be decent here, but such it is.
Yeah, you got to watch out for St. Charles.
Thank you all.
So just to recap, from what I heard and make sure we all kind of on the same page, he'd like all of our support in his run for state. If you know anybody that's with the state directors, have any influence with them, reach out to those friends that you know and say, hey, we think Derek will do a great job. Please support him and hopefully cast your vote for him. Also, he is running, I forgot about this, he is running for Maris board director. He's been up there the last couple of years. Maris has gone through several changes here in a short amount of time. I think Derek has represented us well and has been very communicative in what's going on and bringing that back to the board. and working there. So I wholeheartedly endorse him for both of those positions. I would hope the rest of you would too, and that you DRs and brokers, when it comes time to vote, please vote for Derek on the mayor's board. Thanks, Derek. And the final thing I want to bring up before we open up the list of questions and answers, our Facebook page. If you've noticed, we've had a Facebook page for a while, but Amanda has started to post more frequently on there. There is the birthdays, and I think that's a nice touch. It is good to recognize everyone's. We don't put a date with them, we just put what day it is. So I think that's positive. It gets those touches in there, starting to add a little more substance to it. There's been some leadership quotes that are going out there, as well as putting events to keep folks going. We have about 200 and some odd members on the Facebook page, so that's 2/3. I don't know, is it?
Go with math again, Steve.
Well, it's 2/3 of our members, but not 2/3 of our total members. I don't know how many affiliates are on there. So let's say it's 50%, which is not bad. It is a good form of communication. If we can get that up a little bit more, we can continue to put classes, dues, billing, other information out there. Also want to encourage the brokers as well as our realtor members to use the page as communication. If somebody has a crazy scenario that popped up, obviously they're going to talk to their broker first, but we know that not everybody has seen everything. I mean, there's always something new that pops up in this business. I mean, it doesn't matter how long you've been in it, but if you have that question, hey, has anybody ever run into blah? Kind of use that as a way to collaborate, brainstorm, and form good relationships, as well as if the brokerages, if you guys have any events coming up that you want to invite, like maybe you're doing a food drive or a blood drive at your office or whatever the case may be, please encourage you to use the Facebook page to get the word out to our members. It is internal. Only those of people that are members are allowed on the site on that Facebook page, and I think it's a good tool to use. Also, it has been brought to my attention, and I just want to use it as an example. USA Mortgage, there's been a lot of posts on USA Mortgage there. We don't endorse as a board any one particular company. However, if only one company or one brokerage or one person is sending us data within our community, we do want to get that out there, but we don't want it to look like the appearance of favoring one over the other. Because we know First State Community Bank does stuff, Clarissa with Citizens is doing a lot of stuff. And then there is Bank of Sullivan, or I don't know, is it Sullivan Bank, Bank of Sullivan?
Sullivan Bank.
They've changed. Farmers and merchants and whatnot. So we have Bank of Washington, obviously. So we have quite a bit, and also all of our affiliates that are part. If anybody wants to post an event and say, hey, this is what we're doing, everybody is welcome. It's not one over the other. It's meant to be inclusive. And so I hope folks take advantage of what's going on. And I know I did say finally, but I also want to recognize our Employee of the Month, Grace Nemeth. See, she is always the Employee of the Month. She never complains about anything. Always here to support. Does get a little judgy sometimes in her looks, but is definitely a lot of fun. And it really helps out. I know typically in this business we don't see dogs and kids at work. To a certain degree, it is kind of cool. One, she is very friendly. Two, when Cindy says too friendly, and two, with Amanda being here by herself, and or Becky and Amanda being here by herself, I think it is good to have. I don't know what Grace would actually do in a situation, but if it's anything like the dogs that I know, they would get protected, or people just wouldn't like them. So hopefully it creates a safety barrier there as well. So all that being said, looking at the time, is 10:43. So I want to take this opportunity to open up for any questions, answers, comments, or concerns.
Ken says comfort dog, not a jack dog. Yeah.
What?
Becky and I get real stressed out. Grace helps us with that.
Well, she'll comfort him.
Yeah,
She'll comfort the intruders into submission.
right.
So, does anybody here have anything? Kathy? No? Sue Ann, anybody out there? Leaker? Ken Reeves? No, not Ken Reeves. Ken Levy? I mean, Ken Reeves could be there. He's a broker. I only see a few people. I'm just throwing names out there. So, all right. Well, if there is nothing else, I thank you for your time this morning. And, oh, Ken Levy, no voice today, enjoying being quiet. We are enjoying it as well, Ken. So want to thank everybody for attending today and go ahead and wrap up. Again, if there's anything that you need, please reach out to the board office. We have 2 staff here to take care of all of our needs and concerns. And if there's something that you think we could be improving on or just something that's new, don't hesitate to reach out to Amanda or myself. And then I'll take that to the board and we'll implement it or make adjustments and corrections. So that being said, the meeting is ended. Thank you very much.